hello, hello, hello. Hopefully you're all having a good one, and welcome back. All right, hello Twitch, hello YouTube. Let's shuffle that playlist. And, oh, come on, pick up this game. Pick up the, game capture. There we go. There we go. All right, let's blow away some dudes, then we're gonna start recording. And we're gonna start recording. You guys can watch the show that is recorded. Let's freaking get it, chat. Juicy. Oh. There we go. How sweet it is. 'Tis very nice. Oh, that's another thing I also have to do. I have to clean up the loot filter. Hey, what up, Valakura? Yo, what up, Ice Hockey? How you guys doing? What are you guys up to? What are you guys doing over there on YouTube? Yeah. Yo, what's good on you, Nork? All right, what'd you guys think of Gamescom? I see any cool announcements? Obviously, Path of Exile 2, December 11th, day after day after the Game Awards, which I'm not surprised because last year they had drops during the Game Awards and they launched their season. What was it, season 4 or whatever, the Vol Temple update? They launched it like literally. Yeah, they launched it literally the day after. So yeah, that's probably gonna be a nice little partnership that they're gonna lean into every year. I imagine that they'd even have drops available during the Game Awards like they did last year. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I'm excited. Swords are coming to Path of Exile. I think I'm just gonna boot up some random class and just play with swords. You imagine playing a merc with a sword. Witch Hunter. Do all that extra damage and stuff that they do, and how tanky they can get. Imagine just stacking armor on Witch Hunter, walking around with like a sword and just going to town. I think it'd be pretty awesome. Okay, so if you're tuning in for the build guide, I was waiting a little bit to let people get in here, and then I was going to start recording. Just so we're all on the same page. So on Monday, we did the thumbnail, the planners, and we recorded B-roll. So today we're going to record the video itself and then, time permitting, edit it on stream. It'd be cool to like get it all shipped and everything. And then starting tomorrow, we would circle back for the Warpath guide. The idea with the Warpath guide was I was going to record that off stream, but I mean that's not been very easy with the lad here in the house now, so I think it's just easier if I do all my content creation during this block. I know there's certainly content creators out there who do the same thing. I've just always been that guy who recorded all his videos like outside of streaming, but now I'm gonna be one of them now. Hey. Yo, what's good, bro? Oh my God. I got my EMG scan today at the neurologist. I don't think I've ever heard of the EMG scan. Okay, everything looking okay? Won't know until later? Well, yes, he diagnosed you with being too tired of this shit. Nerf damage. Oh, what happened? Did you like take a fall or drop something? Or again, is it, you know, a case of being too tired for the probably a bulged disc? Well, I'm sorry you're going through that, man. That is not very comfortable. Oh, yeah, that is terrible. Terrible news to hear, but hopefully you're getting the medical care that you need and deserve. And hopefully you make a speedy recovery. It's been going on since January. Worst pain ever. You know what, bro? I haven't met you in real life, but just your very demeanor typing online, you sound like you're somebody who has a pretty high high tolerance for pain, so I think that's saying something. July, not January. Oh, did I say January? My bad. Yeah, July. Yeah, I'm sorry you've been going through that, man. I'm sorry. It sucks. Boiling oil on your arm. This was worse. Yeah. Boiling oil. I'm guessing, was it motor oil or was it like, was it cooking oil? Not that it matters, but either way, oil has a much higher boil. No, it was a cooking oil. Yeah. Well, oil reaches a much higher boiling point. You know, it's not water, so that is, yeah, you're searing a roast. Yeah, bro. That is extremely painful. As somebody who has gotten boiling oil onto his arm, never like poured it on there though. That is skin. Yeah, exactly. They like literally cooked the skin off in an instance, and it slid off. Right. The nerve. Yeah, pinch it at the spine, fires everything. Right. Well, yeah, hopefully you feel better, man. Did you get a chance to watch Gamescom? Or were you at the doctor all day? Been catching some stuff. I only caught the two big announcements that Path of Exile 2 coming December 11th, and Wolcen. Wolcen's getting a sequel. The game test in a game called Scavlan. Oh, nice. Oh, it's good coffee. They got grenade launchers before that somehow. Oh man. POE's 2's getting swords. They got grenade launchers before that somehow. Yo, what's good, Silas? Wilson 2 second chances. Never understand why people kiss that game. I'll never understand why people kiss that game's butt so hard. I feel like the kid in the story of the Emperor's Club. All right, you see it and nobody else does. Or everybody else does, but they won't say it. What is good? Give me a minute. I'll email some old philosophy professors. We're getting into which game, bro? Paths of Exile 2. What is good? Yeah. Talking about good and evil in philosophy is really interesting concept. I've always been intrigued by philosophy, you know, just sitting down and actually thinking about it. Depends on the moral system. Is there a moral system or is there a survival system? But, you know, we start getting into absolutes. Here's all the loot and currency. Now pay so you can manage it. Yeah, there you go. You're thinking already, bro. You're doing a great job, man. Keep up the good ideas. That's really the loot that people are looking for. You went to university for philosophy? I got into philosophy at a very base. I got into philosophy at a very base level, and I found it very intriguing. It's just my time at that time of my life, I just didn't really have time for it because I wasn't going to be using it on a daily basis, man. It was the recession, dude. I needed money. Like, sure, sitting there and talking, you know, sitting there and trying to understand the concepts and the metaphysics of the universe and you know what makes us tick, and breaking stuff down to the very minutia I found very interesting, but at the end of the day, that wasn't paying my bills, so I was just like, well, let's get out there and get some work. It's interesting. I really like philosophy. I really do. It's just unfortunately, it doesn't pay the bills. I think the entry level to philosophy for everybody was like what? Schrodinger's cat. Lock them in a box of poison. Close the lid. You'll never know at any moment until you open the box whether he's alive or dead. He now exists in both a state of life and undeath. I work in philosophy every day. Blue collar manufacturing. We know the truth. Yeah. Now this right here is a prize. Oh, I actually got really lucky with that. I did not. Yeah, that's. This is very handsome. Might as well charge for skill slots, bro. That is what I'm talking about, man. You are really, dude. Instead of everybody getting 5 of these, imagine if everybody got 3 of these. You had to pay a one-time purchase for these 2, and then imagine being able to buy another one each season, just to prove that you're a hardcore gamer in Last Epoch. I think you're on the right path, bro. And then you could have 2 different leaderboards. You can have the free-to-play leaderboard. Well, not free-to-play, but you can have the 5-slot leaderboard and the 6-slot leaderboard, and then you can have a blended leaderboard of the both of them. Ethics. Been playing around with my own ethical framework in my head for a long time. Don't know if I'll ever write it up because I feel like I'm not smart enough to parse everything out properly. How far are you willing to go on ethics? Is it self-serving or for the society? $1440p, I like that idea too. 4K requires the 4K package. Sounds too Diablo Immortal, dude. No, man. We gotta put you know, put Diablo Immortal to shame with this one. Dude, Last Epoch needs money. All right, we're coming up with ideas. What if every season they sell a +5 to all attributes? Every bazaar transaction costs 1 cent. Okay, that one's a little out there. I don't know if anybody will pay for something like that, but I think they'll definitely pay for. I think they would definitely pay for a stat boost, like, you know, +5 attributes every season. You know, at the start of every season, you can pay the extra, you know, $2.99. Honestly, I'd rather focus on continuing to work on my language stuff, followed by writing the book series I started. And see, that's where I was, Silas. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was really intrigued by philosophy, but at the end of the day, there was just other stuff that I would rather do. $2 for 5 free item rerolls. It's hard to put free in there when you know you've charged it. Making up everything to rake in the butts, but fixing the code for better server costs. I mean, no, the servers are point, dude. You ever heard of AI? They're chewing up all the memory right now. Last Epoch will sadly eventually stop being a multiplayer game. I mean, they can't keep paying for the server costs at this point. We're going to go back to just having multiplayer connected, you know, like a friends list and a leaderboard, but everybody will be playing solo. Offline only, online will cost $3 a month. Okay, help pay for the servers. Kind of a shame. Last Epoch's a pretty damn good game. I mean, sure, but nobody's playing it. Like Pizza Hut grand reopening now with pepperoni. We got to get this game ready for the Chinese market. Might as well start with the Western market. Because whatever Western gamers are able to pay, are willing to pay for, just quadruple it. You found something that worked for a Western audience. Now you can go and charge quadruple to a Chinese market. Like Pizza Hut grand reopening now with pepperoni. Exactly. Everyone knows it's not Pizza Hut if there aren't clear red cups to hold that Pepsi. You're still on the swords thing. He's on a swords kick, guys. Dude, think about this, all right? Think about this. Bro, I can't believe you didn't think of this one. All right? You guys ready? We got GTA 6 before we got Swords and Path of Exile 2. Now that's going to be one of the abilities that you can kick swords. It looks pretty cool. It's almost like Sword Juggler, but it's meant to give you more forward momentum. It's a weird thing to do. Your big 1.0 announcement is to put swords in a fantasy game. I mean, I'd like to say you're hating for the sake of hating, but that was kind of like part of the big announcement. Now leave in early access. Come play with swords. I mean, Brow's kind of got a point. Crossbows, grenade launchers, swords. Okay, guys, show of hands. Who thinks Path of Exile 2 early at like 1.0 launch will get delayed? No, daggers are coming with the swords. I can't believe I got exactly what I wanted out of an altar. The dagger gameplay looked pretty cool. I think that's a ban. I mean, I've heard of Magic Sword. I don't know about. To beat the PoE 2 campaign this season. What'd you think, bro? Thought I was done with it halfway through. I pushed to finish to say I gave it a shot. There's so many games out there. Yeah, way too many to play that campaign more than once. Like, if you really want to do something, just say you did it. Was it worth it? Need to cook tonight? You got some chicken that's been waiting in the fridge to be made into stir fry? All right. Okay, well, we got our resistances, but we lost some mana. All right, good point and reason to have an informed opinion. Yes, consider I work with streamers. No, and to Brow's point, that's why I started playing Path of Exile 2 in the first place, was because I kept getting asked, hey, how's this game compared to Path of Exile 2? It just happened to be that when I played Path of Exile 2 there in, what was it, 0.3, I was like, I actually like this, so. All right. I think we will use what I was using before. Simply because that's why I have recorded in the B-roll footage. Definitely not gonna yuck someone else's yum. Just curious when people like something I don't enjoy. Understood. Let's remove that one. But minor idol. Okay, stout idol. I'll get out of here with the stout idols. We want attunement. I think the main thing you're going to want oh, I don't even have attunement on here? Yo, Nebeline, thank you for the follow. Oh, I am such a loser. I didn't have T7 attunement on here. Full trailer this Friday. Source, trust me. Understood. I mean, this week would make sense. Give people some time. Like, because aren't they going to be going... I think they're going on tour starting in September. Yeah, I can trust that, Nebula. It's believable. Did I get health? Oh, yeah. Still can't believe I didn't put attunement on gloves. I could have actually possibly found a good pair of gloves. Hide mage, hide that, hide 9 types of idols. Okay. Move those off, shattering class affix. Okay. I think this is good to go. So what else do I want to include in the guide? Alternate chest piece. I think Citadel boots are just fine. We'll go for Osirion, Carcinization of Momentum, but we'll also highlight Red Ring of Atlaria. Gloves. I mean, you could go for Immortal Vice, but we're going for either atrophy or if you need tankiness, eternal gauntlets. Definitely, I would say don't even, like, you can play this build without Spirit Xylem, but this is kind of like, this is the Spirit Xylem build. Leonines. Crimson Moon, understood. Yeah, you're going to want a Devotion. Is there any alternate belts? I suppose you could just use any belt you can get your hands on, right? I do have this particular belt, but I don't need the mana regeneration. It's like a Diablo Souls-like roguelike. Understood. Okay, I think this is it. Go ahead and get ready. So in case you don't know what's going on, I'm getting ready to record the build guide right now. And yeah, you guys will be here for a live taping, so to speak, of the guide. As a result, though, I'm gonna close the chats because I'm going to get too distracted. I am going to try and be quick about this. If you've seen any of my build guides, they've gone well over 40 minutes multiple times. I'm just going to try and be speedy about it. So let's go ahead, minimize that chat. We're going to go ahead and close that chat, and we're going to hit start recording. Hey guys, Bike here, and I'm back again with another Last Epoch build guide video. This one is for the Paladin, and we are playing Fissure Smite Paladin, and yes, we are at 1,000 plus corruption. Before we go any further, I just wanted to say, I know I've been gone for a while. The thing is, I'm a new dad, and we got a little boy in the house. He is about 7 weeks, getting up towards 8 weeks. You know, the nature of these videos, it's going to be outdated by the time it gets uploaded because they grow so fast. But nonetheless, I am now recording in the live environment. Yes, I'm currently live on Twitch and YouTube as I'm recording this. So if you see any weird cuts or anything like that, I'm just going to try and keep things moving. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into the video. But real quick, I know we're stopping again. We're stopping again. In the description down below, you will find planners. You will find links to loot filters. Use them. I'm going to try and be quick with this video. So if I miss something, sound off in the comments down below. Check the planners. All right, now let's get moving. Let's see some gameplay if I haven't had it playing already. Okay, let's go. So Fissure Smite Paladin, I've had an absolute blast playing this build. It is so tanky. If you look down there at the little health globule and everything, I got over 5,000 health. I also got over 2,000 mana. And what is the number one thing I've stacked on my gear? Of course, it's health and mana. Wrong. It's attunement. Imagine that. Attunement. One stat to rule them all. Lord of the stats. Okay, no, that was bad. Let's keep it moving. Keep it moving. But nonetheless, the gameplay that you're watching, we are just absolutely demolishing everything that we come into contact with. And we're kind of lumbering around like some sort of sentinel. See what I did there? So we're just absolutely just crushing everything in sight. Those in the live environment are like, what the hell is he talking about? He's just standing around. That's okay. Go check out the video when it goes live. You will see B-roll. Trust me. And just absolutely just having a blast with this, just demolishing everything in its path. It's very, very simple. We're not having to use a lot of different buttons and all that. And we've seen enough of me just going around crushing everything at 1,000 corruption. Let's see some bosses. So right now we have Raye and the Harbinger, and they hit pretty hard and they're dying. As you can see that, they are dying. They might hit us. They might do a lot of damage, but guess what? With all that ward, with all that health, Who cares? Who cares? We can take it all on the chin and keep on smiling. So we take both those guys down. So normally I have some other bosses to show you, but this is part of the condensing the video type thing that we're doing. So we're going straight into Uber Aberoth. And I will say this, I think this build might have a chance, but the thing is, it does damage, but not enough damage. And so what ends up happening is we tank his hits, he tanks our hits, and then it's kind of like a back and forth tango. But the house always wins when it comes to these sort of things. And if you're watching the gameplay right now, you'll see all over the battlefield are those little pools of joy. Yeah, those start to collect all over the place. And no matter how many times you try to cleanse them off with your little, burning bazaar of fire, it's not enough. And we just eventually succumb. It's like death by 1,000 cuts. So if you can get enough damage on this build to take him down, possibly. But honestly, I think it's just going to be a case of you're super tanky, he's super tanky. You're both bringing the pain. And eventually you lose because he's got way more tank than you. There we go. So with all that being said and gameplay and all that, let's go ahead and jump into the video. Let's go. All right, here we are in my office. Welcome aboard. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to do a demonstration of how the build works. I mean, you just saw gameplay, but nonetheless, we're going to do a demonstration of how the build works. We're going to go over the loot filter. We're going to go over the gear. We're going to go over the blessings, the idols, the skills, the passive tree, all that. Then we're going to get out of here. Like I said, I'm trying to be a little bit quicker with this. Famous last words. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and get into this. So I'm going to show you this right now. Yes, it does kind of take a little bit to burn through your mana. You're going to want to burn through your mana on this build. If you don't know why, go ahead and read up on Devotion. Nonetheless, you're going to want to burn through all your mana right here. And essentially what Devotion does is it gives us more benefits with Smite with less mana that we have. So more total mana, yes. Less mana in the pool at the moment we use it, no. Yeah, we want that. Never mind. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. All right, let's keep going. So you're gonna want to try and get as low around 100 mana, and then you just smite things. There you go, guys. This is the build. If you want to do a little extra damage, hit them with an Abyssal Echo. You need to get around, you do that. Right, you use healing hands, and that is the build in a nutshell right there. You see those little pools of energy, they melt enemies, and yeah. So let's go ahead and get into the loot filter. So I've been asked many times before, how do I even import a loot filter? And to me, it just seems so basic. I've always left it out, but you know what? It's good to know. If you don't know, it might be kind of daunting. What you're going to do is you're going to click on the green arrow. You're going to copy the loot filter from wherever you're getting this from. I was putting them on Pastebin, but last time Pastebin was being kind of weird, so I started going through last Epoch tools itself, and that seemed pretty good. So that's probably where you're going to find this loot filter. Nonetheless, I'm just hedging my bets here. Nonetheless, you're going to copy the contents of the loot filter. It's like a big old long thing with all this code and stuff on here. You need the Enigma machine to translate it, or a computer with last Epoch installed on it. Copy that, and then you're going to paste that right here into paste clipboard contents. It will read if you have a valid loot filter. Right now, I don't have a valid loot filter, so it's telling me to get lost. So you're going to copy that, you're going to paste this, and boom, this loot filter is going to pop up. Let's go ahead and get into the loot filter. So if you're going to be looking for altars, right? This is the new hotness this season, idol altars. This is going to be the loot filter for you. This is going to be the rule for you. Minor idols that you might be looking for, this is going to be for you. Uniques with 1 LP that is useful to the build, that's for you. These are just general uniques that are interesting to have. Obviously Spirit Xylem's on there, but you might find an Exolus or a Nihilus, Omnis, Orion's Eye. We use Devotion for the build, so we don't need these, but guess what? Those are pretty nice if you find them. Keep it going. I just realized my face was blocking some of that. It's all good. We'll just keep going. let me go over here. What's up, guys? So we got 3 LPs that you might be looking for, and yada yada yada. Leonines, if it's light blue, you're gonna like it. If it's this sort of seafoam green, it's gonna be something, maybe a base you don't like, but it's gonna have an attribute that you like, and you can go from there. Sometimes it's just the thing you're looking for to get onto your gear is the attribute that you're looking for. And that's kind of the nature of this build. If it's light green, if it's this light blue color, you're going to definitely want it. If it's seafoam green, it's probably going to be something with an attribute that you want on it. And then if it's this dark blue color, double T7. If it's this pink color, double T6. T7s, if it's red, it's going to be something that you're going to be looking for. The thing is, the way I got the loot filter set up these days, for the most part, the main things that are going to be popping up in red are anything with health on it, movement speed, and class levels to Sentinel. That's the main thing that's going to be popping up at this moment in time. If you don't have any class affixes for the Sentinel, maybe you've been playing Mage all season and you want to try Sentinel, this is a Shattering class affix. If it's orange and it drops, you pick it up, shatter it, you got yourself some class affixes. Really good when you're trying to roll affixes off a gear that you don't want and you don't have shards because it's class affixes. It's whatever. Champion affixes, if you're into those, I included this in season 3, and the experimental affixes I included in season 3, but I just don't think anybody really cares about these, so I have them here, but for the most part, you can just click those off if you don't want that. And then we got everything that we are hiding. I'm assuming that you are going to be an in-game player with this. If you are leveling with this build guide, check my YouTube channel for some leveling guides. Smite can work, but one thing about it that's not going to necessarily work that well for you is you don't get Smite till all the way over here. So if you're leveling with a hammer throw, why stop leveling with hammer throw when you get to Smite? That's my philosophy. You might as well just keep going with hammer throw. It's working for you. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the gear. Like I said, famous last words. I'm going to try and be pretty quick about this. And if you're just tuning in, we are recording a video for YouTube. All right, let's continue on. You're looking for a Leonine's helm, and you guessed it, attunement. Anything else is gravy. Try and get yourself some health, and try and get yourself a high reduced bonus damage taken on critical strikes. But there you go. You want attunement on a Titan Heart. There we go. Spirit Xylem. This is what you're going to be looking for. I say the number one affix that you should get on a Spirit Xylem, if you have 1 LP, is critical strike multiplier. That's where most of your damage is going to be coming from. But cast speed does feel pretty good on this build. The reason why I recommend critical strike multiplier is after you've burned through all your mana, which, yes, I admit, takes a while to get through when you're using Abyssal Echoes. It's worth noting, if you don't like Abyssal Echoes, you can use something like Judgment. Here, let me show you. You can use something like Judgment. Well, no, you can't. You can't the way it's set up because I'm not spec'd into it. All right, that was a total blooper online. If you don't like Abyssal Echoes, you can use Judgment to burn through your mana. I like to use Abyssal Echoes because then you can also use it for damage. Bam. There you go. Nonetheless, once you've burned through all of your mana, you'll notice something. Your cast speed with Smite is faster. Why is it faster? Because of Devotion. You have increased cast speed with Smite per 2% missing mana. That's why I say go for critical strike multiplier first, because you already get some built-in cast speed with Devotion when you're casting Smite. I know this takes forever to burn through, but once you get here, it feels pretty snappy. You see that? Feels pretty snappy. So yeah, I say go for critical strike multiplier. Things that you're looking for are +4 to attunement and skills. I'd say the number one thing you're looking for is plus to your health and mana per attunement. You can see that I have a range of 3 to 6. 6 really makes a difference. This one is 5, right? It's just 1 less per attunement, right? Here's my health. Here's my mana. I'm going to equip this one on right now. We have dropped several hundred health, several hundred mana. I don't know about several, but a couple hundred health, a couple hundred mana, just by having one less per attunement. This is very important. Try and get one with +6. It's even more important than the spell levels. Trust me, +6 to health and mana is important, but you're going to use what you can get, right? You're going to use what you can get. I recommend you use an Osirion. You could use Red Ring. Red Ring really likes this build, but I don't really have any Red Rings this season. And also, I've gotten some complaints in the past about just every build having Red Rings, so I'm trying to find some alternatives. I think running Osirion and Carcinization of Momentum are pretty good. You can use Crab Ring, as I like to call it, for swiftness and armor. You also get a lot of attributes out of it. If you put T7 attunement on here and you find one with +6 attributes, that's 22 attunement off of one ring, assuming you get 16 attunement. Also, you get all that vitality, your strength, your everything. I think Crab Ring is very good. It's like Red Ring Jr., right? And then Osirion, you can run 2 Osirions if you want. Yeah, that way you get the less damage taken from chilled enemies. You have a chance to chill enemies, shock, more damage per stack of shock. But I like everything that Carcinization of Momentum brings. We're going for atrophy here. You're looking for attunement and cast speed. You could also go for Eternal Gauntlets. Try and get yourself some attunement or mana and cast speed and health. Very nice to have. You could also go for Immortal Vice, but I think this one's going to be kind of out of reach for a lot of people, especially if you play Circle of Fortune. That's what I play. And I typically try not to use those Uber Avaroth uniques in a build unless it's like absolutely mandatory, at which point it would be very clear. This is a high-end build for people who can already kill Uber Avaroth, which leads to the next point. If you could already kill Uber Avaroth, what's the point, right? That's how I kind of see it. So this is cool to have. If you're really pushing high-end corruption, that's your thing. Awesome. It could already do 1,000 corruption. It's good enough for me. Immortal Vice is an option if you want it. I love Brewmaster's Buckle. If you don't have a specific belt you need, I think it's a great belt to have. In any case, you get the vitality, you get the endurance. It's also health, and cleanse is what you're looking for on here. Pair of boots. I'm just using Citadel boots. Yeah, I know. Bike. You're using just a regular pair of boots. I know. I'm being a little bit more loose out here. All right, man. I think I wanted to show you how effective this build is with. I mean, I will admit there are some nice pieces here, but for the most part, this is pretty tame compared to some of the builds I've put out in the past, right? I mean, obviously I had some corruptions go in my favor, but for the most part, it's here, have some more resistances. Here, have some mana spent gained as ward. I mean, this one's not too bad, some increased damage over time. But yeah, there's that throwing damage, minus throwing attack, mana cost corruption. Very vital for the build, wink. Like I said, I wanted to showcase that, you could play with some stuff that's not necessarily meta and be doing 1,000 corruption. Obviously, we're playing Sentinel, but nonetheless, we're going to forget that point. Moving on, yeah, so Citadel boots, very good. I like them. You can use whatever. You can use Foot of the Mountain, Blood Exile if you want, but I think Citadel boots are comfy. We have Twisted Heart of Ukeros. Basically, we get a +1 to our smite. We get 10 strength. We get some cast speed. We get that implicit 12 to 20% increased health. Very nice. And then you get the ward. 8% current health converted to ward when you directly use an elemental spell. Smite is an elemental spell. So when we cast it, boom, we gain some ward. That's nice, right? That's nice. I like that. It's just a good, very comfy, unique. You could use other uniques in this place, but I honestly, or just regular relics, honestly, I think Twisted Heart of Ukeros is best in slot. I would use this over something like a Shattered Worlds. I think this is the way to go. Grab yourself a Twisted Heart of Ukeros. Last but not least, we have Devotion. So we have the fire resistance and the lightning resistance implicit. Who cares? Slam it with mana. And like I said, you really can't go wrong with Devotion. Try and find a bunch of these. Try and slam them all with mana and then corrupt all of them. And hopefully you get +1 to levels or something nice. Right? What sort of corruptions should you be looking for? Life is really good. Damage over time is really good. I'd say any of the ones that convert one of your stats is not helpful to this build, converting vitality to rampancy, don't convert your attunement. Do not convert your attunement. You'll have all that mana regen. Bro, you are gonna be hating life trying to reduce your mana down. Believe me, don't do that. Don't do that. So just get yourself a devotion, throw some mana on there, and if you feel like it, corrupt it, and hopefully you get a nice stat increase. Things to look for on here, honestly, just look for a devotion. All right, the end. Let's move on to idols. So this is the altar you're going to be looking for. A pyramidal altar. You're going to want to try and get ones that give you increases to the amount of omen idols you can equip on here. The biggest thing you're looking for is plus mana per equipped corrupted idol. And you got a couple different ways of going about this. You can find these little idols right here, right? You can find a bunch of these little ones that give mana and health, or if you get lucky, mana, right? Corrupt them. Hopefully they don't break. And then you could fill up an entire board of this with mana, and guess what? You gain extra mana per corrupted idol. It's really fun. I'm not gonna lie, it's really fun seeing that much mana. And we gain extra flat spell damage with Smite per 5 missing mana. Okay. The thing is, I definitely felt like I needed that damage increase that comes with increased damage with Smite from these idols, so I went with this. Now, you might be wondering, Bike, you said I need this pyramidal altar. Why are you not using that pyramidal altar? It's very simple. I didn't have the resistances for my kit to be able to support what is needed on this pyramidal altar, so I went with this. I could have also just equipped the pyramidal altar like this, removed one of these, and then just put a bunch of small idols there. I instead just was like, here, I'll use this. Nonetheless, I think pyramidal altar is probably going to be your best in slot, assuming your resistances are well taken care of. So you're going to be looking for these increased damage with Smite idols. You're going to be looking for mana and health idols. You're going to be looking for physical resistance. You're going to be looking for poison resistance. You're going to be looking for this. You're going to be looking for all that. All right. Go ahead, take a look. Everything is in the planner. Let's go ahead and take a look at the blessings. So we're going to go over here to follow the outcast. Take whatever you want. Take whatever you want. The rings are really nice. Take whatever you want. Take whatever you want. Now on to the good stuff. You're going to want critical strike multiplier. Take it. You're going to want all res. Definitely take it. You're going to want mana. Take it. Coming on up over here in the last ruin, take whatever you want, and then take armor and armor. That is the idols. Let's go ahead and jump into the skills. I removed that staff earlier, if you recall. So we're going to put this all in place. So here's what I would do. I would immediately path over here, grab Order of Lagan, and then put 1 point into Fissure. And then after that, make sure you put some points into Aftershock and Heavy Impact. That way you can cast more fissures per second and you can get more damage with Fissure. And then after that, grab Sacrifice, put enough points into Atonement to make Sacrifice not hurt as much. And then, have some fun. I personally like extra Pillars of Light. The thing is, these don't spawn extra fissures. This is purely it looks really cool and it hits more enemies. And, the smites themselves still do some pretty good damage. So I like to have a chance to hit extra enemies, which is why I also like Unbalanced Scales. More lightning bolts hitting other enemies. Again, they don't spawn extra fissures, but nonetheless, they hit more enemies. You're still doing hit damage with Smite. I like it. Moving on to Healing Hands. Healing Hands is straight up just a buff spell. One thing I didn't try this time around is Synthesis of Light because we weren't stacking healing effectiveness. This could be good, but what I was doing with this was just getting all the healing I can. We're using Homeward over here. Just, whenever we cast Smite, instead of Healing Hands also casting on the enemy, Homeward has Healing Hands cast on us. That way we gain the healing and all that other good stuff. We turn it into a traversal skill when we use it as an active. So, Rye's Chariot, that's what I was talking about, using healing hands. Go ahead, get out of there. I like it a lot. And immune while moving, reduce the mana cost, take all the healing you can get. Moving on. Symbols of Hope. This is one that has actually been kind of contested by some members of the audience. And I want to highlight it because I actually think they have a valid point. I think there is a valid point to not use Symbols of Hope. But nonetheless, I like to use Symbols of Hope because it's one less thing to think about. This is why I'm doing it. But I feel like I'd be doing you guys a disservice if I don't mention that it was brought to my attention that this doesn't really do a lot for the build. So let's go ahead and discuss what Symbols of Hope does. Symbols of Hope, every 2 seconds, summons a symbol that orbits around you. You deal additional fire damage and you have increased health regeneration. Well, here's the thing. We're using Titan Art. Health regeneration means diddly squat. 3 additional fire damage, that's cool, right? Doing a little extra fire damage, but that's about it. So what else are we getting out of it with Symbols of Hope? Well, we are getting the increased damage. All right, we are getting an increased damage per symbol. I should probably even be putting a point from here into there, right? We got 5 points, 20 times 5, that's 100% increased damage of whatever we're doing. That's nice, right? Well, maybe. Let's go ahead and continue to explain. So we take tetragram, we take polygram, we gain extra symbols. We also take iron symbols, right? Symbols grant you and your allies additional endurance threshold. This is nice, but here's the thing. We already got a ton of endurance threshold. You'll see it in the passive tree. So what else could you use in place? Well, you could use volatile reversal and go for something like increased damage taken, right? The enemy takes increased damage over time. You could also go for something like judgment, right? You could use this to burn through your mana and use it in conjunction with everything else. You could go for a myriad of other things, but for the most part, I like symbols because you don't have to think about it. You get the passive damage increase. I'm also taking the crit chance increase. Believe me, I will explain it later. Don't. You can sound off in the comments, but it will be explained in the video. Continue on. So yeah, this is why I like Symbols of Hope. You don't have to think about it. Moving on to Abyssal Echoes. Essentially, we take this no cooldown node over here and we just use this to spam and burn through our mana, but we get a couple nice things. Every time we use Abyssal Echoes for 5 seconds, we gain Nether Coating. We do increased damage versus blinded enemies, and we have an attack speed buff. That's nice, right? Though I will say it's an attack speed buff, so that doesn't increase our cast speed. So never mind. We're going for the damage versus blinded enemies. Crumbling is very good. Abyssal Decay. Essentially, if you don't know how Abyssal Echoes work, you hit enemies, they all get afflicted by Abyssal Decay, and then if you hit them, you immediately do all that damage. That damage is calculated as damage over time. But when you take this node, Fragility, when you take this node, Fragility, when you hit an enemy, that Abyssal Decay doesn't go anywhere. It just keeps ticking them for damage. That's why if we take Crumbling, they take 24% increased damage over time. It can actually lead to a lot of damage. It is a great node. We kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I really love Abyssal Echoes. Please survive any nerfs. Moving on. Holy Aura. This one's kind of your classic Paladin node. I've taken my standard pickup 5-2-1, 2-2-5-3. Bob's your uncle. All right, let's move on to the passive tree. Here's the way I like to do it. I like to go 5-5-5-5. Right, this gives us some extra mana and health just to try and keep ourselves alive while also finding that right balance for mana and health regeneration. I do 20 points into Void Knight. I know this one's kind of weird. Why are you doing 20 points? Well, we get all that physical and void resistance, and then we jump over to Void Corruption. Your critical strikes deal more damage for each passive point you have invested into Void Knight. Who cares? But we get 1% critical strike multiplier per point spent in Void Knight. 20 points, 20% critical strike multiplier. And then I grabbed the 5 points into Dark Maw because 10% increased health is a nice upgrade. All right, so here's how I do it. I go 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Then I do 10 points into Holy Precision. Now you might be going, what? Wait, whoa, bike, hold up. You're doing Fissures, right? Yeah, I'm doing Fissures. Fissures is a damage over time ability, right? Yeah, Fissures is a damage over time ability. Why the are you doing Holy Precision? It's answered by Judgment of the Storm. You deal more lightning damage over time, multiplicative with other modifiers per 2% added critical strike multiplier above the base 200%. And so if we open our damage sheet right here, our character sheet, you'll see I have 462% critical strike multiplier. We minus 200 because everybody gets 200 base. That means I have 262% critical strike multiplier. Divide that by 2, right? I am not a smart man, so that's why I use a calculator when dealing with numbers bigger than 10. Here's what we do. 262 divided by 2 equals 131% more, capital letters, more damage with lightning over time, or damage over time with lightning. That's why I take something like Holy Precision. We get a 50% critical strike multiplier buff. But as a result, this is going back to the we're tying in, right? We're tying in the little symbols of hope. We're tying that in. Going back to Holy Precision, we get all of this crit chance. In fact, if you look, am I blocking it? Yes, of course I'm blocking it. If you look, I have 28% spell critical strike chance right now. I believe that's also counting the bonus that I get from Symbols of Hope. Nonetheless, that's what, 1 in 4 chance for a crit? And then we get all that extra damage because we have 462% critical strike multiplier. I considered it a passive damage increase. Your mileage may vary. You may not care. Nonetheless, there it is. Have fun with it. All right, so 10, 5. I then do 3 points into Divine Essence, 12 points into Reverence of Duality, 5 points into Prayer Aegis, because this gives us a ton of endurance threshold, because guess what? We got 140 attunement, right? You know, Bob's your uncle. So we already have a ton of endurance threshold. And then for the last 8 points, I put 8 points into Conviction. And guys, that's it. That's the build. I know it's probably already 30 minutes, but nonetheless, we finished it. We did it in the live environment. Thank you very much. If you like what I do here, drop a like, possibly subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Looking forward to season 5 happening on October 1st. Anyway, you guys take care. I'm Bike. Peace out. All right. We did that all in one frickin' take. Where is the Twitch chat? All right. Oh, yeah. Weird looking. This guy knows his stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, though, like, I'm that kind of guy where I'm talking. If I see somebody chatting, it's built into me. I have to stop and answer your question. So that's why I have to close chat. Otherwise, I just get thrown off my game. So, I mean, yeah, here we are. Clap. That was beautiful. Awesome. Awesome. I'm glad you liked it. I'll get better about doing it in the live environment, but that felt pretty good. Yo, Bike, do you usually play via online or offline? Do I have a preference? I like online because of the leaderboards. Also, like it or not, offline kind of has this connotation And this is a problem for build creators, right? This is a problem for build creators, not for guys like you, right, Slugger? For build creators, there's been a history of people going into offline mode, spawning a bunch of stuff, editing the game files, and then like, look at me, I'm a badass. And then it's like, wait, you just went in and just edited the game files. Now, there are people out there who do that legitimately. They're just trying to put a build out as fast as possible. Right? It's the start of a new season. They're trying to put a build guide out as fast as possible. The problem I have with that, I don't have a problem with the people. The problem I have with the idea is sometimes some of those items are actually kind of hard to get your hands on just playing the game normally. So that's why I like to do everything online. I have the little, as we like to call them, the 3 bars of integrity. And again, I'm not trying to rip at anybody who does the offline editing. I understand you're trying to get build guides out there, but I also like just, so a build like this. If I edited a game file, I would not put these in here, right? I would not put these in here. I would put, like T7 attunement on everything and then T5 everything else. Well, guess what? T7 attunement, 1 T7 and 3 T5s is actually not that easy to get your hands on anymore. I don't know why. I feel like just the FP doesn't want to play ball, let alone corrupting it. So I personally like just doing stuff in the live environment. But for you, Slugger Steve, yes, you, Mr. Steve, I think you should play whatever works. Offline has a pause button. I mean, that could be huge. I got an 8-week-old or about to be 8-week-old in the house, right? So having a pause button would be nice. What happened after 1.2? I don't think I follow. What do you mean? I know PoE, and believe me, it's the #1 feature I wish last Epoch would rip off. Now they've already spoken to it. They already said it's just it was built from the ground up with a pause button. Believe me, man. I want to play Path of Exile 2 right now just for the pause button. Tonight, I'm probably going to be on the couch. Every Exalted's just harder to craft. Yeah, it feels that way. It feels that way. And you know what? I wonder if they did that kind of like a shadow nerf, just because they knew you could print a whole bunch more. Right? You can print a whole bunch more. Like, I can't tell you what it is. It just feels harder to craft now. Yeah, it makes sense. Also, not to mention, does EHG still lock offline players out of the new Pinnacle bosses until an online player defeats it? Yeah, they still do that. I love dying while clicking a Nemesis 8. Yeah, dude, like, I just wish there wasn't this connotation around offline mode, because offline mode would be perfect for me. I play Circle of Fortune. I rarely play co-op. I don't compete on the leaderboards anymore. Yeah, I wish offline mode didn't have this connotation for content creators, but people out there abused it in the past. And so, I play online as a result, and I wish it had a pause button. Yeah. Online has all your cosmetics. It feels like online's a way to prove you're legit or if you're playing trade. Because it makes sense. It makes sense. Okay. When's the last time I used DaVinci? Do I want to update DaVinci right now? Do I have to restart the computer? Let's skip. What do we want to call this? All right, DaVinci, I like to go straight into edit. This isn't a tutorial. This is just, I'm not just gonna sit here and edit. Yo, Slugger Steve, thank you for resubscribing for 2 months. Appreciate it. All right, then what I like to do is I like to drag all my footage. This is gonna be, all right, so then what we're gonna do, yeah, normally I record the intro and then I start a new recording. This is gonna be interesting. So let's go ahead and turn this off. Recording. Hey guys, bye. All right, let's I don't remember how to do this. Actually, no, I think I remember. Keep it just a little round. Where is the sound? Yeah, first little bit. Yeah, I forgot to put these in here. And this is what I do. Hey guys, Bike here, and I'm back again with another Last Epoch build guide video. This one is for the Paladin, and we are playing Fissure Smite Paladin, and yes, we are at 1,000 plus corruption. Before we go any further, I just wanted to say, I know I've been gone for a while. The thing is, I'm a new dad, and we got a little boy in the house. He is about 7 weeks, getting up towards 8 weeks. You know, the nature of these videos, it's going to be outdated by the time it gets uploaded because they grow so fast. But nonetheless, I am now recording in the live environment. Yes, I'm currently live on Twitch and YouTube as I'm recording this. So if you see any weird cuts or anything like that, I'm just going to try and keep things moving. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into the video. But real quick, I know we're stopping again. We're stopping again. In the description down below, you will find planners. You will find links to loot filters. Use them. I'm going to try and be quick with this video. So if I miss something, sound off in the comments down below. Check the planners. All right, now let's get moving. Let's see some gameplay if I haven't had it playing already. Okay, let's go. So Fissure Smite Paladin, I've had an absolute blast playing this build. It is so tanky. If you look down there at the little health globule and everything, I got over 5,000 health. I also got over 2,000 mana. And what is the number one thing I've stacked on my gear? Of course, it's health and mana. Wrong. It's attunement. Imagine that. Attunement. One stat to rule them all. Stat to rule them all. This is what I like to do. Break it right when you teleport. Stats. Okay, no, that was bad. Let's keep it moving. Keep it moving. But none. Look at this. You guys are gonna like this. You guys are going to like this. Check this out. Rule them all. Lord of the stats. Okay, no, that was bad. Let's keep it moving. Keep it moving. But nonetheless, you know, it's like one of those things you might not even, you know, had an absolute blast. Might not even pay attention, but look down there at health globule and everything. I got over 5,000. I also got over 2,000 mana. And what is the number one thing I've stacked on my gear? Of course, it's health and mana. Wrong. It's attunement. Imagine that. Attunement. One stat to rule them all.
Boom, you're on the next map.
Of the stats. Okay, no, that was bad. Let's keep it moving. Keep it moving. But nonetheless, the gameplay that you're watching, we are just absolutely demolishing everything that we come into contact with. And we're kind of lumbering around like some sort of sentinel. See what I did there? So we're just absolutely just crushing everything in sight. Those in the live environment are like, what the hell is he talking about? He's just standing around. That's okay. Go check out the video when it goes live. You will see B-roll. Trust me. And just absolutely just having a blast with this, just demolishing everything in its path. It's very, very simple.
Not the strongest
We're not having to use a lot of different buttons and all that. And we've seen enough of me just going around crushing everything at 1,000 corruption. Let's see some bosses. Yeah. Not the best. At one point, I was even like writing out a script just for the intro. So right now we have Raye and the Harbinger, and they hit pretty hard and they're dying. As you can see that they are dying. They might hit us. They might do a lot of damage, but guess what? With all that ward, with all that health, who cares? Who cares? And what we're going to do is we're going to stop it right here. Try and get in some gameplay of Kirby. You can take it all on the chin and keep on smiling. So we take both those guys down. So normally I have some other bosses to show you, but this is part of the condensing the video type thing that we're doing. So we're going straight into Uber Aberoth. And I will say this. And then we stop that right there. We cut out what we don't need. And then we plop in the Uber Aberoth B-roll. And then bam, that'll close out. I think this build might have a chance, but the thing is, it does damage, but not enough damage. And so what ends up happening is we tank his hits, he tanks our hits, and then it's kind of like a back and forth tango. But the house always wins when it comes to these sort of things. And if you're watching the gameplay right now, you'll see all over the battlefield are those little pools of joy. Yeah, those start to collect all over the place. And no matter how many times you try to cleanse them off with your little, burning bazaar of fire, it's not enough. And we just eventually succumb. It's like death by 1,000 cuts. So if you can get enough damage on this build to take him down, possibly. But honestly, I think it's just going to be a case of you're super tanky, he's super tanky. You're both bringing the pain. And eventually you lose because he's got way more tank than you. There we go. So with all that being said and gameplay and all that, let's go ahead and jump into the video. Let's go. All right. Go. Got that. Drag this over here. Let's go. All right, here we are. Cut that out, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add an effect. I think additive dissolve is fine. All right, here we are in my office. Welcome aboard. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to do a demonstration of how the build works. There you go. There you go. Raw dogging it. Cut, additive, dissolve. And boom, the video is done. Now, I don't know what's going to happen if I try and render it while streaming. So it might make stream look pretty bad. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and leave that right there. And yeah, it is all over. Well, thank you for everybody who stuck around for that. We will just have fun with it. All right, thank you for the likes over on YouTube, guys. And how are you guys doing on Twitch? Get the music back up and running. And we can go back to the Black Sun timeline. So yeah, tomorrow we'll be doing something very similar with the Warpath build. Well, this is what you get for not burning down your mana. Sucks because he was a crystallize. So, Dawn Tracker, were you being serious? You never used a build with attunement? Yo, what up, OMP? I see me live again? Thank you. Yeah, it's been a while. Just to catch you up to speed. Just because some people filter in here and they're not aware, my wife and I had a son. So yeah, I kind of went away for a little while, but yeah, we're doing stuff. Some things have changed. Like we actually just finished up doing a video in the live environment as opposed to waiting until and trying to record it outside of the stream. This is just going to be the way things are going to be. It's going to be the way things are going to be moving forward, just because I want to maximize my time outside of streaming. Well, when I tried Forge Guard, I did. Other than that, nah, Forge Guard was too jank. Forge Guard is pretty jank. Hopefully it gets some love. Hopefully it gets some love, and I hope the love isn't nerf Paladin Forge Guard to make Forge Guard. Did I say Forge? Nerf Paladin and Void Knight to make Forge Guard look more appealing. I'm aware of the son. I was there when he streamed again for the first time back then. How's the little one doing? He's about to be 8 weeks. He's doing pretty good. Yeah, he's doing pretty good, man. He and I went outside today He liked it when we were in the sun. He didn't really like it as much in the shade. Probably because I think it was a little too cold for him. I had his hat on, but he was just wearing his onesie. I personally just wanted some sun. I feel like Forge Guard is a tough one. How do you buff the weapons and not make Forge Guard too busted? Right. Because, I mean, think about it. Forge Guard is, like, if you're playing in a particular way, Forge Guard is busted. But I feel like a lot of people are not willing to do that. And how do I know this? How do I know this? Look at the arena. #1 build, Forge Guard. Look at the corruption. #1 build, what was a Falconer? Surprise, surprise. Let's go back to arena. Forge Guard. Yeah, actually, like, you got to know what you're doing and you got to be willing to do it. But Forge Guard can be very powerful. Yeah, they also die to basic enemies. Hey, so Omp, what have you been up to, man? Yeah, I know class is top in Falconer. Also, did I see Tilron in the Twitch chat earlier? He might have popped up when I was recording. Is Blade Dancer doing well in Corruption? I believe so. Ah! Go ahead and take a look for you. Falconer, Falconer, Blade Dancer. Falconer, Falconer, Blade Dancer. Void Knight. Falconer, 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 Blade Dancer. Falconer, Sorcerer, Blade Dancer, Falconer, Void Knight. Primalist, 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 Primalist. That, like, somebody... clearly somebody used the catch-up mechanic, because they're all at the exact same corruption and they're all super low, to try and, you know, do, like, this is something they're going to have to address if they're going to continue to have a, a corruption leaderboard. They're going to have to address the catch-up mechanic, because, like, this guy hit 29,012 on an account, then made a bunch of different characters with different names to try and you know, like, they did it all on the same day to try and leave a message. Hey, yo, what's up, PC? Been okay, enjoying some PoE1 these days. Honestly, I'm just waiting for new D4 PoE2 LE season to go live, to be honest. I'm looking forward to the new Last Epoch season and the new Path of Exile 2 season, and I'm looking forward to more World of Warships, but I haven't been streaming that. I've been playing that one in my own time. So it might be funny to do a World of Warships stream. Just see people's reactions, like, what the hell? This guy's streaming World of Warships? What? figured Blade Dancer would show up there. I knew Shadowrun was a problem, not even 2 hours into the season. True. World of Warships, what's that game? It's what's it about? It's a game about warships. It's naval combat. You start off with like early World War I ships, and you kind of work your way up to unlocking higher tier ships that kind of end out post World War II. And you can, they have different modes. You can do modes where you like do battle against other players. That's the most common one. You'll have teams of 12. You each have your ship, you each have one life, and you try and defeat the other team. You also have modes with bots. You also have stuff like operations, which is you and a team of other players go into a scenario where all the other enemy ships are bots. And there's usually objectives that you're trying to play through, and you're trying to win so you can earn XP and credits so you can unlock ships. It can be pretty, you could play completely for free, but it could also get kind of, hey, spend some money and you'll gain this type thing. But there's people who play completely for free. I'll spend some money on it, and then around Christmas time, I'm like, credit card. Because they have a whole bunch of promotionals and stuff like that. I really enjoy the game. I've been playing. I was actually streaming World of Warships before I was streaming action RPGs. If you look on my YouTube, you'll see a bunch of World of Warships videos. Mobile games? Well, I mean, there is World of Warships Legends, but the World of Warships client is PC. I enjoy the gameplay. It's also been working out for me because the games can be pretty quick. Most games have a max time limit of 20 minutes, and for the most part, they're over a lot sooner than that. Gamble on your cardboard crack. I could sell those if you need. Yeah, sure. Everybody has their own little vices. I gamble for pixels on a screen. The new Hobbit set came out and it's doing well. Oh, okay, cool. Yo, Dawn, did you ever get into the League of Legends card game Riftbound? Or have you just stuck with Magic? No, that's very valid. Very valid. I was helping a friend last Saturday. He owns a trading card business. He mostly deals in Pokemon. Cards. And he doesn't really, like you, he doesn't really deal in other cards just because there's so many cards out there, right? So I was helping him sell his Pokemon cards, but he had picked up in bulk, like packs of like repacked cards, like 75 cards per pack, from another dealer who was just trying to offload him League of Legends cards. I'm already certain all the valuable cards were taken out of there, but he picked up these packs for like, there were 75 cards in a pack, and he picked them up at 75 cents a pack, so basically a penny a card. And then he was selling the packs for $2. And at the end of the convention, he said he wanted to get out of the League of Legends business, so he gave me all of those packs. He's like, here, just take them off my hands. So I got like a shopping bag full of these packs, and all I really want to do is go through there and find all the champion cards and do a binder with all the League of Legends champions, because I played the snot out of that game when I was in my early 20s. But he also had like some Magic cards, but it was kind of the same reaction. He bought it from the same person, so you already know all the valuable stuff's not in there. But there were some people who actually played Magic who bought the cards off of them and said, yeah, there's nothing really like valuable in here in terms of collections, but there was valuable playing cards. And they were very satisfied with their purchase. Here, yeah, so repackaged cards, League of Legends. He also had Magic cards like this as well, Magic the Gathering cards. And so I haven't opened them yet. What I really did is I really like I don't know. Let me see if I can block my face out of it. Maybe the camera can catch it, maybe not. I like the artwork. The artwork looked really nice. So I was hoping to find champion cards in here. I doubt I'm ever going to play the game. It's popular? Oh, that's good to know. Well, I could probably cobble together a deck, but I doubt I would have to learn the rules, and then I'd have to find somewhere to play. I'm sure. I mean, we got a couple comic book shops in the area. They probably double as. They probably have game nights. Dude, he had a bunch of One Piece cards, and people were buying the snot out of them. He had like the same thing with the One Piece cards. He got them in bulk from somebody, and they were all packed, 75 cards to a pack. And bro, like he got cleared out. Like somebody just came by and just like bought all of his bulk at $2 a pack. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I mean, like, just like the League of Legends and Magic, he doesn't know anything about them, so he was literally just selling them for $2 for 75 cards, you know. Hopefully you find something good. One thing I will say is I was kind of surprised that Riot made a playing card game, a trading card game, after Legends of Runeterra, because Legends of Runeterra, like, I think they're not updating it anymore. They said they weren't getting enough players, so they just kind of put it on life support. Honestly, it might just go back to what you're saying. Like, you know, people like to collect, but also the people who like to play, if all your stuff is just caught up in a digital license, you know, if everything's just exists as pixels on a screen. Right, yeah, yeah. The first collector pack from The Hobbit, you got a $250 card, so you get it. Yeah, man. Like, I don't know what it is about these trading cards right now. I don't know how they got so popular all of a sudden. Because, like, I remember when I was a kid, Pokemon was pretty popular. Right? It was pretty popular, but I think I didn't really play the Pokemon card game, but I collected a bunch of cards. And I remember, I think the moment that it just kind of like lost its luster for me is the second generation Pokemon just came out as Pokemon cards. And I remember opening a booster pack. I was like 13 and I got a holo Lugia. And I remember I was freaking out. I got Lugia. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then the card was worth like $16. Now, obviously, it's $16. And I don't know. I think there's just a part of me like, you know what? This is, I think I was thinking this is going to be like Beanie Babies or Pog or any of the other things. You know, they start off hot and then they just kind of die down. And, you know, like for Pokemon cards, obviously there was cards like Charizard and stuff. No, at the time it was worth $16. So what, 2001? 2001? I don't know what it'd be worth now. You know, so what I ended up doing, what I ended up doing back then, I just remember having my binder full of cards and I just gave them away. I just gave them away to a friend because he actually went to tournaments and played. I remember like hearing like a year later or so like 2002 roughly, he's like, yeah, man, I won a tournament with your Machamp card. And I remember going, you know what, that's freaking awesome. I gave away a new house. Yeah, I did. I gave away a new house and possibly a car. Well, because I was like, yeah, not back then it wasn't. But here's the thing, like what Kriskin said, I know that even if I had held on to those cards, something was going to pop up. Like the recession. I would have sold those cards for some ramen, bro. Remember 2009? Anybody who was either, you know, lost their job or like me trying to get into the workforce. I didn't try to get into the workforce until I was like 20, 21. Boy, was that a mistake. Yeah, it's so, I mean, yeah, buddy. I already know I would have probably sold those cards or something. I think it's only until like when did they start getting popular, like uber popular, like the early gen started getting super popular? Like, I don't know when the early gen started getting super popular. Nonetheless, like, yeah, the value of those cards now are probably insane. Dual lands for hundreds now. The price varies on the land, but still, yeah, right. I got you. Were played. I will admit, my cards were not meant because I was a kid. Still go for hundreds? I got you. Oh, what? I didn't actually do the thing? Volcanic Island right now, averaging $650. Sure. With inflation, that's rent. And that's the thing, like for a lot of people with those collectibles, man, like hard times popped up. The dot-com burst, the recession, COVID. People needed money, man. Yo, what's up, Sakuru? The most expensive card is still standard legal. How's LA doing nowadays? It's doing okay. I think most people are waiting for October 1st. I'm trying to get a couple more build guides out the door before that. We recorded one live on stream today. I gotta render it and get it uploaded to YouTube. Get ripped. You'd be jealous of my 0 LP Xylem, baby. I'm jealous. Teach you how to farm, noobs. Hey, now, I told my mom to invest in the Apple, and she didn't, yeah. My parents to invest in a couple of real estate things and some meme stops back when I did. Would they have panned out if they had invested? Both times left 8 figures on the table. That's quite a bit. There's a time when the one ring from the old Middle Earth CCG was insane too. What's that worth now? Probably nothing. CCG, do you mean collectible card game? The One Ring in Magic has gone up. Well, isn't there just one? Right, yeah, I wanted to say I thought Post Malone owned it. The basic version that was a promo and every bundle box is still $100. Okay. You never got into card games? Well, this got brought up because I was talking about how I was at a convention last Saturday. I was helping a buddy sell his Magic, not Magic, his Pokemon cards. He's a dealer. He has a ton of them. So we were wheeling and dealing. Made a lot of sales. And one thing that he had done previously, he picked up a bunch of League of Legends cards in bulk for the game Riftbound, and he sold some of them, but at the end of it he saw I was interested in them and he just gave them all to me because he wanted to get out of the League of Legends business. Instead, I put 4K into a high yield savings. Oh, wait, no. This is how it really got brought up. No, this is how it really got brought up. I was talking about World of Warships, and Dawn Tracker said when it comes to gambling, he'd rather gamble on his cardboard than pixels on a screen. And then I mentioned I was at a convention helping selling cards. And then, this is how this all started. You just got here and agreed. There you go. It's good, OJ. Yeah, somebody had mentioned that they were looking forward to Diablo 4, Last Epoch, and Path of Exile 2 content for the rest of the year. I said I was looking forward to Last Epoch Season 5, Path of Exile 2 launch, and all the goodies that are coming to World of Warships. And then that led to, what's World of Warships? Then I was explaining World of Warships. You're our kind of people. I agree. What are we talking about? Like when cavemen found fire. Do I like these gloves over Hand of Judgment? What, Atrophy? For this build, yeah. Well, it depends. I'm playing with So I'm doing Lightning Smite. Hand of Judgment gives you a bunch of fire pin, right? And Atrophy, doesn't matter what you're using, you can get up to 25% pin with anything for damage over time. Like any damage type, you can use Atrophy and get up to 25% pin. That's a lot of pin. As long as it's damage over time, it does a lot of pin. So I'm guessing what you're talking about is the attunement. The attunement that comes on Hand of Judgment. Yeah, it's a Paladin. Like, here's the thing, man. I already got 140 attunement. Like, at some point, you just need to be able to get past some of the resistances. Sure, it's a lot more life, mana, and flat damage for your spells and stuff, but you know, I'm trying to get through some of the the resistances here. It's certainly an option if I had thought about it. Do I have any? I don't even have any this season. I didn't even pick them up. Where am I getting Lightning Shred from? Well, I'm getting the pin from Atrophy. We're getting Lightning Shred from the skill tree, right? We get Shock Chance, Lightning Shred Chance, and Electrify Chance from the skill tree. And I'm getting additional Shock Chance from Osirion. And Shock acts as another form of Lightning Shred. I mean, those are all good, right? Those are all good. Yeah. So, I mean, we're shredding some resistances, but with this, we're actually penetrating through some of those resistances. Because those shreds kind of have a cap. Obviously, Penetrate has a cap as well. Pause. Got me up at 7 hours. Have a good night. Bye. Catch you later, Kriskin. Yeah, so I just like having generic pen. I mean, you know what? Sometimes it's all you need. Well, not necessarily all you need, but it's cool that you can get the build up and running with just a random rare. Yeah, it's what you have. Abyssal Echoes is so sick. It's a ton of damage. It is a ton of damage. It's been one of my favorite skills in the game since beta, and it's a skill that's continued to just grow in power. Continue to just grow in power, man. You get so much out of it. It was overshadowed by reversal before. Yeah, it was for sure. Definitely by a long shot. Yeah, I believe you could. Yeah. No. You could have an overlap because it just said last 4 seconds. If you had high enough CDR, man, you could just drop that on people's heads. Last time you played was beta? Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that must have been a wild ride for you. Like, wait, what? What do you mean volatile reversal is trash? Dude, listen, I know it's kind of hard. No, they changed it. Wait, what? Oh, that was the end of this. This is just a random one. Oh, okay. Talking to Liz, he was saying this build could get like 10k HP and 4k mana. I just don't even see how it can. Yeah, you have to kind of get down into the minutia. Maybe get a couple. You know, maybe get a couple double. Maybe get like a T7% health, T7 mana, like percent mana on a couple items on obviously T7 attunement. I mean, we're talking like triple T7s, but it could definitely get up there. Thank you for the likes over on YouTube. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here for tonight. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to render out that video, and we'll try and get it uploaded for tomorrow. Appreciate all of the support. And, yeah, I think I will be seeing you guys again tomorrow. I know that's what I said on Monday for Tuesday, and then I wasn't live Tuesday because my brother surprised me with some movie tickets. So, yeah, I'm planning on being live tomorrow. We shall see if that happens. But yeah, it felt really good recording that video live here in the environment. You guys were awesome. And we'll be working on another, we'll be working on a Warpath build guide video. We'll be working on a build guide video. We already played it. We just got to record the video. We'll be working on that in the live environment. That's what we have planned. Anyway, you guys take care. Have yourselves a good one. Looking forward to Season 5 content, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.